Hello everyone and welcome back. It's your host Michelle, aka Chat-Mort, and thank you so much for turning once again to my humble little channel. Some of you have probably heard about this already, and some of you may not have. And please excuse Scooter as she scoots all around and knocks everything down that is in my possession at this time. I discovered this video today on Twitter, and I screen recorded it so you guys can see it, and I'm hoping if I speed it up and like mirror it, it won't get taken down. We'll find out, I guess. This Twitter account by these people is called Change the Ref. I guess the whole organization is about this specific thing that's a promoted tweet or something. One of the kids shot in the Parkland shooting was Joaquin Oliver, apparently. And his parents have started this organization to try to bring awareness to the issues of mass shootings, their gripes with gun rights, evidently from what I have seen, and trying to get people to vote for more gun control, apparently, because they think more gun control will make less criminals with murderous intent have guns, because those are the people who follow the laws. Anyway, okay, I'm not going to push my own political opinions. That's actually, for once, not what this video is about. It is this 2-minute long video where Joaquin's parents, who have survived him, give a short speech about the fact that their son did not live until he was old enough to be able to vote. So they used AI. It's a deep fake. It's not really like AI, so to speak, but they used deep fake technology and an actor to put their son's face on someone and have that actor act as their son to give intended to be a poignant message about gun violence and the fact that everybody needs to vote because this kid can't, because he was killed by a mass shooter. Their intention, perhaps a noble one, you know, it makes perfect sense that parents would want to do something meaningful after such a heartbreaking, earth-shattering event, such as the loss of their son in a senseless, evil act. But I'm just going to show you this video here because this is absolutely... I'm just going to show you and let you form your opinion, then I'll tell you my thoughts.
I am Patricia Oliver, and this is my husband, Manuel. 2 years ago, our beautiful son, Joaquin, was shot and killed at Parkland. Every day I think about him and what his last moments must have been like.
Meanwhile, every day, nearly 100 more families lose someone they love to gun violence. Every single day, we keep telling people it doesn't have to be like this. They don't listen. So we found a way to bring back someone that no one will ignore.
It's very hard for me to look at this. So please listen to what our son has to say.
Yo, it's me. It's Guac. I've been gone for 2 years and nothing's changed, bro. People are still getting killed by guns. What is that? Everyone knows it, but they don't do anything. I'm tired of waiting for someone to fix it. The election in November is the first one I could have voted in, but I'll never get to choose the kind of world I wanted to live in. So you've got to replace my vote. Go to unfinishedvotes.com, register, then go vote. Vote for politicians who care more about people's lives than the gun lobby's money. Vote for people not getting shot, bro. I mean, vote for me, because I can't. We've got to keep on fighting, and we got to end this.
While I totally understand the grief of the parents and wanting to do something meaningful after the death of their child, the fact that they used this deep fake technology to manufacture a statement their deceased child never made to encourage people to vote a certain way is, I'll call it grotesque. I have never seen anything like this. It's not funny anymore to joke about the fact that we live in a Black Mirror episode, because it's not a joke. It's an annoying joke because it's overused, but it's also just not a joke anymore. It's completely true. Something that just, it never occurred to me that I might witness in my lifetime would be a pair of parents digitally reanimating their son's corpse to push a political message, taking advantage of the fact that their son is dead and gone and therefore cannot say no to them reimagining him and puppeteering his corpse through technological means, as opposed to digging him out of the ground or uncremating him or whatever, through a total emotional appeal and shock value, manipulate and coerce people into voting a certain way. This is just horrifying and nightmarish in a way that I almost can't wrap my head around. Scooter, I'm doing a video. Come on, you're in the way. You're messing up my lighting. Some people in the replies to in the discussion of this tweet were saying it's a political campaign, an anti-gun political campaign that coerced these parents into doing this and used their grief to convince them that this was a good idea. Are you eating? Stop! Baby girl, stop. Baby girl. You are... Well, I'm just gonna let this keep recording. Are you okay, baby girl? Stop frolicking! You've ruined everything. You forfeit the right to frolic and be gay and joyous. People were saying that these parents, in their grief, which would understandably drive a lot of people out of their minds, they have been manipulated by some political group into letting this ad take place and letting this happen. But if you look at the Change the Ref page, the description for it is, our son, Joaquin Oliver, 17, was killed inside his school. We use urban art as a creative confrontation to expose mass shooting disastrous effects in America. Which is a very noble cause. I totally understand this. But yeah, 14 hours ago from the point of me filming this, they posted this tweet, this 2-minute long video that has 1.5 million views. Just from glancing at it, it looks like it's about half and half as far as people endorsing it or not endorsing it. And I don't know, something that's really interesting about this whole ordeal is that even very leftist anti-gun younger adults, you know, millennials, I would say roughly, and younger, all of the younger people almost unanimously are horrified by this, while older anti-gun leftists are applauding this. So it's not a political divide here between whether people think this is a wonderful, heart-wrenching, necessary thing or not. It's more of an age divide. It's really weird to me that a generation that largely doesn't even know that, like, Asimov exists, we are the ones who are losing our minds and disgusted and terrified by the implications of this. Something somebody said to me was, somebody quote tweeted me or replied to me on Twitter and said, clearly you must not have known Joaquin. He was an active member of Black Lives Matter and he was an anti-gun activist. So, like, clearly you don't know him, because I'm sure he would have liked this. Or there were other people saying, I'm pretty sure his parents would know better than you what his wishes were and what would have mattered to him and whether or not he would have approved of this. And that is the point. Whether or not Joaquin believed everything his parents believe or not, maybe he was a very gun control minded activist to begin with, and it took this happening for his parents to come around to what his perspective was in life. I don't know. If his parents wanted to honor his legacy and his activism and the things that were important to him, they should have highlighted his activism in life. They should have shown footage of him or read quotes from him when he was among the living. Instead, because his activism in real life apparently wasn't good enough for them or their devices, they turn his death into a grotesque spectacle that is only useful in its shock value. They ignored all of his activism in real life and instead digitally reanimated their dead child's corpse to horrify and emotionally coerce people into voting a certain way against politicians who care more about the gun lobbies than people, apparently, which was the words they put into his mouth here. Could that be a direct quote from his Facebook or something? Of course. But you know what I'm saying here? I feel like this is fairly obvious to most people. The point is that we cannot know whether Joaquin would have approved of this or not, or whether, if you believe that consciousness goes on after death and Joaquin exists in some abstract way at the current time, we cannot know what he wants. Unless you conduct a seance or 20 and you actually believe that stuff works, you can't know that he approves of this specific campaign. He is voiceless now, particularly since you have cast aside his voice from when he was a living, breathing human being in order to turn him into a cheap horror movie trick to get people's attention. I'm dumbfounded that somebody would disrespect and objectify their own child in this way, particularly after something so horrible happened to him. Turning him into like a B-movie, spooky white noise type monster doesn't honor him at all. People see this grotesque farce of your child. People see this bastardization of your child instead of the vibrant person he was and the meaningful life that he lived. Aside from the disrespect to their child, to emotionally manipulate people and pressure people into feeling like they've got to vote a certain way, which is grossly oversimplified in this ad, by the way, that being this absurd pitting of politicians who care about people against politicians who care about gun lobbies, because there are definitely really wonderful, heroic, genuine politicians out there who care about people. That's not a grotesque, horrifyingly naive oversimplification, like, at all, right? The thing that's infinitely more nightmarish about this is the precedent that has been set by this, that if you die before any of your loved ones, it's now acceptable to a lot of people to just reanimate your corpse for your surviving loved one's interpretation of what you would have stood for. The example I gave on Twitter is, okay, just rubbing on the microphone while I'm using it, that's fine. Can you please stop walking on my keyboard, homie? Mira, stop. Go away, Scooter, thank you. Don't come back. Get out of here. The example I gave on Twitter is, imagine a teenager succumbing to their depression and their lack of a will to live, and their parents reanimating their corpse through technology in this nightmarish dystopian way, and having their child say, if only gay conversion therapy hadn't been made illegal, I never would have been driven to suicide, you know? Or if it had not been made a hate crime for my parents to get me the help I needed, I would not have... Stop. Doodle, stop. Get out of here. I'm trying to be serious. I'm so off task and it's your fault. Get out of here, Doodle. Bad girl. If it hadn't been deemed a hate crime for my parents to get me the help I needed, I wouldn't have succumbed to this. Like, the fact that there are multiple people in the comments saying, oh my gosh, this is heart-wrenching and such an important, necessary message. The fact that people don't see anything wrong with using technology to dig up your dead kid's body and put words in their mouth and mime them advocating for something that they're dead and don't even know is happening anymore, that they're not around for, means that things like this are going to keep happening, you know? Hopefully how absolutely horrified people are might give others pause in the future. Another thing that I've seen a bunch of people say is, wow, it never occurred to me that I'm going to have to put in my will that I don't want people using my likeness to push their own message after I'm dead. The complete and total lack of respect for their son's life, for the fact that he is deceased, for the fact that he was an autonomous human being with his own wishes and desires and independence, the fact that they capitalized on the fact that he can't deny consent for them to do this because he does not exist in a human capacity anymore. This is nuts. Don't do this. This is nuts. Anyway, I'm so sorry to these people that this happened. It's awful. It's absolutely awful, and I applaud them for trying to do something meaningful to prevent this kind of thing from happening in the future. But the way they've gone about it is just dumbfoundingly just disrespectful and lacking in awareness. This boy was a living, breathing human being, and his autonomy, his ability to consent or not consent to something should matter to his mother and father. Whether in life he would have agreed with this stance or not, he literally doesn't exist anymore in this plane of existence, so he cannot consent to you using his death and this grotesque farce of him for this spectacle to push your agenda. Thank you so much to my patrons and Subscribe-Star subscribers, and thank you to all of you who sat through this nonsense. I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.